following the film's screening at the 2025 Palm Springs International Film Festival, star, co-writer and director Michael Angarano cited films like Alexander Payne's Sideways as a major influence for his second directorial feature. Those influences can be felt throughout Sacramento, as it's a road trip dramedy, starring Michael Cera, Kristen Stewart, and Maya Erskine, that follows two friends with polar opposite personalities who commit questionably moral yet still very human acts. While it certainly holds a lot of similarities to the cult classic, Sacramento does bring enough new commentary and ideas to the table to help it stand out from the typical comedy crowd. Glenn, Sarah, and Rosie, Stewart, are just a few months away from becoming new parents, but while Rosie is more than prepared for the challenges of being a new mother, the neurotic Glenn is a bit too overprepared. Glenn's stress doesn't get much better when Ricky, Angarano, his former best friend who he's trying to phase out from his everyday life, shows up on his doorstep and eventually suggests an impromptu road trip from LA to Sacramento. What starts as a doomed field trip for a failing friendship turns into something much different when Ricky decides to try and reconnect with his ex-girlfriend, Tolly Erskine. So, yes, Sacramento has Sideways fingerprints all over it, but the heart and humor that Michael Angarano and co-writer Christopher Nicholas Smith inject into the script feels more like an homage to the works of Alexander Payne rather than a shameless knockoff. That's chiefly felt through the chemistry of the actors, which is an element that Sacramento absolutely nails. Part of that could be credited to the real-life relationships attached to the film, as Angarano is married to Maya Erskine and was formerly in a relationship with Kristen Stewart. But it still goes well beyond that, as the interactions the various characters have with each other are as natural as they are genuinely funny. It also helps that Angarano's non-invasive yet tactile directing style gives plenty of breathing room for visual gags and comedic timing. The bulk of Sacramento's time is dedicated to the deteriorating bond of Ricky and Glenn, both of whom function as brilliant foils to one another. Again, much like the two protagonists of Sideways, one of these individuals is an easygoing drifter who immediately embraces everything the universe throws at him while the other is constantly panicking about their future. Angarano's performance as Ricky is rock solid, with his optimistic demeanor and bubbly personality being practically infectious. Sarah's far more pessimistic Glenn is the real scene stealer though, as this has got to be the Superbad icon's best comedic performance since This Is the End. The back and forth between Ricky and Glenn, including a hysterically ridiculous fight scene, is already entertaining, but what helps Sacramento stand out from films like Sideways are its female leads. Michael Cera and Kristen Stewart are the sarcastic power couple we didn't know we needed. The already funny Glenn is amplified anytime Rosie is on screen, as the latter consistently subverts the stereotypes of terminally off-screen spouses to present a genuinely sweet relationship. Much of the same can be applied to Maya Erskine's Tolly, who makes a huge positive impression on the film despite having much less screen time than her co-stars. Alright folks. Listen up. If you are enjoying the content of this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give the video a good old-fashioned thumbs up. Let's show the creators some love. A standout scene in Sacramento is when Ricky and Glenn try to help each other by stubbornly insisting that one of them is okay, and the other is having a hard time. The constant projection of thinking everything's fine, only to break down from mounting pressure, is something that just about every parent can relate to. Even the best parents struggle to be as strong role models for their kids 24/7. And even the best don't often ask for help unless they absolutely have to. Both Angarano and Erskine have two amazing acting sequences where they go from a genuine laugh to uncontrollable sobbing, which, again, is highly relatable for anyone who has children they love and care for. Things really get heated in Sacramento's third act, which sees one of the film's characters completely snap and make some questionable decisions. It's such a left turn that it is an engaging climax, but the resolution to the climax does feel fairly underdeveloped. The time jump that's employed for the film's finale almost makes it feel as if there's a big chunk of the movie that's missing, as the characters go from feeling one way about each other to something completely different, with a literal year's worth of context happening off-screen. It's a nice, sweet ending regardless, but it could have been made even more impactful had we gotten to see a resolution take place. As the writer, director, and star of Sacramento, Michael Angarano has crafted a heartwarming story about friendship, fatherhood, and all of the problems that arise with both. Angarano, Sarah, Stewart, and Erskine all add to the film's meaningful and relevant themes with some truly great comedic performances, with Sarah and Stewart in particular having enough charisma and personality to really shine. It effectively comes with a lot of laughs and funny moments, and pairs them all wonderfully with a big heart. Its relatable story is what really makes Sacramento a film that's worth revisiting again and again for its charming fable about the price of friendship and fatherhood. Pros: one of Michael Cera's best comedic performances. As a filmmaker, Michael Angarano's sense of comedic timing is impeccable. Kristen Stewart and Maya Erskine bring some of the film's best moments. Cons: the third act resolution is a bit jarring.